Hey guys, what's going on? Kunal here. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Want to talk to you about something that I think is important, which is profit givebacks. And so, I had a day last week where, you know, I lost 1,600 bucks, and you can see every trade was just a dud. Nothing huge, right? Minus 100, minus 100, minus 400, blah, blah, blah. But one of the interesting parts of the day was that I was actually up about $700 at the open. And not the open, but the first hour. And I take a lot of trades that day, but nothing was really working. So I had like minus 100, minus 125, I had 48, I had minus 100. And then I took this trade on SIG where I was actually up over 1,000. And so, I took this trade on SIG where you could see this big ramp. It had earnings out this day. It had this big ramp and then pulled back to 90 MA. So I added some and I had like 500 shares or something like that. And so I ended up getting like a nice kind of over $1,000 trade on it. So I had like a few $100 losses, but then I had this $1,000 trade. Now this particular day, there was nothing going on in the market. As you guys know, I really only trade a few tickers every day. Well, look how many tickers I traded this particular day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damn tickers, right? That's way too many for a retail trader, especially on days where there's nothing happening in the market. So say my goal is to make $1,000 a day. Well, if there's nothing happening in the market and I'm up like 500, 600 bucks, well, it's a good day to go hit the beach or go do something, right? I live on the beach for a reason, so I don't have to work all day. But for some reason, I've been trading really well the last, couple months. I just wanted to push it and get to 1,500 or 2,000. And what ended up happening was, that $700 gain, which I'm really good about. Normally, if that thing goes to zero, I just stop for the day. But for some reason, I just had in my day, I wanted to have a big day, and what I ended up doing is making a cardinal mistake. Well, number one, not walking away with my gains. Number two, not stopping when my profit went from green to red. But then number three, on a trading side of things. So, I took this trade in SIG and I made some good money. And then I took the trade later in the day, which is my bread and butter. When a momentum stock comes back to the VWAP, you get a candle to hold, you can take it for a run back to the high of day. Now, my problem with this was I kind of chased it. So I got it a little bit higher than the VWAP. So I'm $1 over the VWAP. For every dollar you get over support, so in this case, VWAP is the support, your risk increases exponentially, right? And so my risk, if I got it close to the VWAP, might have been 20, 30 cents. But as $1 over, now my risk is going to be $1.50, right? Because you got to give it a little bit of room under VWAP. And so, once this thing popped up here and it started to come back down, I realized I just chased this thing, right? I ended up taking like a 60, 70 cent loss. But this is where I made the mistake on it. So, I was trading like 400, 500 shares here. In this particular case, I oversized it. I went 700 shares. Well, you can go 700 shares if you're trading down here because you're so close to support. But going 700 shares up here means that, when it dropped $1 like this, so you can see it from right here to here, it doesn't look like much. It's over $1.20, just that little drop. So I had too many shares. So, I bought it too high. Then I sold the 700 shares for minus $1. So now all of a sudden my $1,000 gain became 300, right? And so now I'm essentially flat on the day just because of a bonehead move. It's okay. It's okay playing this VWAP trade, but not chasing it. The other thing was that, this particular day, I had other stuff going on. There wasn't really anything hot in the market anyways to do. I was going through all my scans and all that stuff. I just wasn't finding much. So, I could have just walked away at lunch, And so first I didn't walk away, and then I'm chasing this thing back up. And so now my day's profits are gone. I'm basically at zero. Now, a good trader, somebody that's going to stay in the business a long time, has got to have really good mental risk management, right? That discipline of the mind. I have that, 59 out of 60 days, every 2 months, right? But 1 or 2 days, sometimes, get away from it. You just, your animal instinct just comes out, right? I'm like, fuck, I just lost, my profits. I got to get back to 500 or 700. I'm not sitting at this computer for free, right? That's how you're thinking. That's when the devil's on you. That's how you think, right? the angel on you is supposed to be saying, hey, some days are losses. You're not going to win every day, and you're flat on the day. That's not even a loss. Tomorrow you will kill it, because you always kill it. But the devil on me was saying, no, let's get back to where we were, right? We're not going to walk away and waste our time. So next thing you know, this thing was hanging out on the View app again. See how like this candle, like it got like it remounted over these MAs over here. So I ended up buying this thing again at 700, and it goes through, and so once again I got a little bit high off the View app, and my stop's under View app, so I ended up losing $1 on this thing, and so now like I've totally goofed up this trade. So I lost $700 on it again. And next thing you know, my $1,000 trade on Siggy Bear, Siggy Bear bouncing here and there and everywhere, right? My $1,000 gain on Siggy Bear is now minus 593, and at that point, right, like your whole day's gone to shit. And then I took a couple, since now I'm down, right? I took a couple other trades just to see if I get something going, and blah blah blah. Like I went from plus 700 to minus 1600. That's a $2,300 turnaround. You can't just think about the loss. You got to think about the total turnaround, right? That's money out of your pocket and into somebody else's pocket. And so, moral of the story is, if there's not anything hot going on, just walk away with some profits. My mom always tells me something when I do stuff like this. She says, man, when you were working, how hard did you have to work to make $1,600 or $700? I was up. I lost $1,600, right? How hard would you have to work to make $700? When you started off your job and, before you were trained. I said, man, I have to work damn near all week to take home $700. And she's like, exactly. And you were doing something, and you were like working, right? You weren't just playing around your computer, having fun, listening to music, like hanging out in a chat room with your friends, right? You were like doing stuff and making calls and showing up early and sitting in traffic for an hour to get there, having to wake up at 5 a.m. to shower, put your monkey suit on, and get ready for work. And I actually liked my job and all, but the lesson of it was that real people have to work their asses off to make $700. And me, it wasn't good enough for me, right? And so then I pissed it away, and then I lost $1,600 more, right? And so I've got to always come back with that of like, how much do I really have to work to do that? So, and I'm just messing around here instead of walking away. So I think that's just a good lesson for you guys on risk management. So, let me know if you have any questions. I love hearing from you guys. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. It really helps me build up my community so we can get out our message to the masses and really build out, our community of awesome traders, man. I've been traveling all over the world doing all this stuff, man. I want to meet more students. I want to hang out and go out on vacations with more of my students and have more events and do everything on a supersized level. And you guys are helping me get there, and I always appreciate that. Let me know if you have any questions. Take care.